What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for stopping on by. Are you a fan of the DC universe? Because if you are, today's collectible might be just for you. We're gonna unbox this guy today, the Flash premium format quarter scale figure from SideShow Collectibles. Not only that, we are also going to inspect him, assemble him, and just see how he looks all set up. As usual, we're gonna get set up back there, so I'll see you right over. With the shipper, the height is 26.5 inches, which is 67.31 centimeters. Width is 22 inches, which is 55.88 centimeters. And depth is 9.5 inches, which is 24.13 centimeters. So let's applaud SideShow for being able to fit this entire quarter scale figure into such a relatively slim package, though its height and width are traditional sized. The box art has a blurred image of the actual figure along with art cells from what mostly look like the New 52 era, along with some bolts sprawling out around. Let's keep an eye out for the bottom label so that we can set down the styrofoam properly. SideShow still uses tape to package their styrofoam. Let's peel it all off safely. Here's to hoping SideShow will use Velcro in the future, but let's not hold our breath for that. The exclusive version here is comprised of 9 total pieces, though it only takes 6 of those pieces to fully assemble the Flash, as the other 3 are alternate display options. On to the inspection process. We're going to start with the base here. SideShow used plastic bags this time around. Just be careful pulling these baggies off as it could snag on one of these fragile rebars here. Right out the gate, I gotta say, this base is shockingly light, like extremely light. Though I don't really understand the yellow paint in the cracks here, I really like the paint and finish on the base. It's got a muted finish to go with the muted colors. I'm not a fan when there's too much shine on dirt, concrete, or wood, etc, etc. At a quick look, it seems they did a pretty good job here. It looks pretty believable to me, but what do you guys think? I'm personally a huge fan of fully environmental bases. As usual, per SideShow, on the bottom we have the adhesive label backing with the numbered identifier. As we can see here, I got number 412 of the 600 exclusive version. Next, we have the body. Again, let's be careful not to let the bag snag on anything here. These bags can be pretty slippery, so it's obvious to always make sure you have clean and dry hands when you handle these things. Great job on the portrait in all regards, paint and sculpt. We can already see that assembly is going to be fairly straightforward as the body is mostly one sculpted or molded piece. Very striking how the reds and yellows pop out. There's a nice depth between the darker and lighter reds too. He's got a nice physique, though he's not overly bulky compared to Supes or Batman. He'd probably still be insanely huge if we saw him in real life. Also, he doesn't have a plasticky or cheap look at all. I hope it's showing on camera well. So far, there doesn't seem to be any damages or defects, so this one looks like a keeper. So as you can see, there's only going to be one point of contact to the base as there's only one peg, so we'll have to be extra careful as always when assembling him in a bit. Next, we have his right hand, which is also most of his forearm. One of the things that bugs me on figures sometimes is when the fingers on hands don't look naturally posed. It's a small and weird thing to pay attention to, I know, but fortunately for me, the fingers on Barry's hands here look very natural and organically posed. So good job on that, Daniel Bell, the sculptor of this figure. The left hand here is really just his hand. It doesn't have the forearm like his right hand does. It'll be interesting to see how the connection seams will vary between the two. Take note that this is the hand that can also be replaced by the exclusive option. Up here we have the 2 sets of interchangeable earpieces for the cowl. They're pretty small and have very specific orientation, so let's try not to mix these up accidentally. It's pretty cool that SideShow gave us 2 different sets of these and that they're available to everyone that purchases this figure. Now the right set we see here is the more modern Bolts style ear cup, while the left set we see here is the OG Wings style. I'm pretty excited to see how each set will change the dynamics of the figure, if at all. Lastly, for those interested in the exclusive edition, we have here the left hand carrying Captain Cold's gun. Paint here isn't the greatest, I gotta be honest. It has more of a plasticky look. Definitely doesn't look metallic or anything. Also, the blue barrel, if it was like a blue crystal or something like that, that would have been cooler. Get it? Captain Cold's gun cooler. So that's everything out of the box. Now on to the next chapter, my favorite part, assembly. Now, setting down the base here, again, this base feels super light, though I love the narrow profile of it. Only one point of contact in his right leg here, so let's be very careful with the pressure when inserting it. This is a huge key, though in contrast, the metal rod inside it, it's quite thin. It may go without saying, but let's be very careful and slowly let his body rest as we let go. Suddenly letting go of his body could potentially put stress on the point of contact. It's a little freaky letting him go here, but he's holding up. His right forearm here attaches magnetically and attaches straight down on. So we have to be very cautious of any pressure coming downward onto his body. So we're going to apply an even amount of pressure from his elbow going upward to close that seam gap. His left hand here is pretty much the same story. This hand holds on magnetically and we have to put an even amount of pressure from the front and behind. Lastly, to complete his look, let's try the modern bolt ear cups first. These are also magnetized into place. His left bolt goes in a very straightforward fashion with no problems. His right ear is a bit more complicated. His right deltoid is in the way, which gives it a very narrow window to get in. We have to be very careful not to scratch up his head or his deltoid here, but I still haven't figured out the exact technique to get the angle needed other than just random feeling it in. So if you're in this situation, just be very careful and cautious getting the right angle. I'm shifting him around here for the camera so you guys can see him, but definitely don't do this. The weight on this figure is very top heavy and this is how accidents happen. Now that he's completely assembled, how about we take a good look at him with a short montage. Enjoy. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for stopping on by, unboxing him and assembling him with me. Now, if you're interested in seeing the full review where I get into all the details, intricacies, tons of more footage, as well as give my personal opinions and thoughts on this figure, stay tuned for that upload coming soon. Now, this is the part where I get into all the I beg you for your likes and your subscribes. So let me get that out of the way for you really fast. If you enjoyed this video and think more people who are into this kind of stuff should see it, please do me a solid, hit that like button down below. If you are not currently subscribed and like to see more cool collectibles like this, also hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Any questions or comments regarding this figure or just things in general, you know where to leave them. As usual, don't worry what others think or say. Collect the things that you love, and I'll see you in the next upload. Take care. The Flash is like one of the most underrated superheroes in all of the universe, whether it be Marvel or DC. Basically, all the folks that have come together to write stories for The Flash are extremely talented. Back to the Future, they showed, yeah, going back in time won't solve everything. And The Flash, they took that, like the Flash's stories, they kind of took that to another level. He has all the speed in the world. He can practically be in two places at once. He can go back in time, manipulate some things here and there, but still, all those abilities aren't enough to answer all his problems.